No, I just think like you're a millennial
I am.
and you know what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like you know what we're facing
Mm-hmm.
in the next, I want to say 5 to 10 years. And you know the climate of what's happening.
Yeah.
And how it's going to affect us in the future. So I think it's time to talk about, you know, the future of millennials.
Well, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
So, the future millennials, Gen Z, our kids, I think because we're pregnant with our second child and like our first is 2, and it's like you're thinking about starting school in the next 2 to 3 years. You're thinking about 2 kids in school. My mind has already gone to prom, college, marriage.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's that futuristic. But I think when you start thinking about all of those things, it makes you think of like the state of the world, the state of, are we in a recession? Are we not? All this stuff that's going on. We got an election coming up next year. Like just all the things where it just makes you wonder, where are we headed, or what's the state for us? You think about real estate, wanting to buy houses, and some of the conversations that we just have frequently with our friends and amongst ourselves, where it just makes you wonder, like, what kind of shape are we in?
Yeah, I think I think about this all the time. Not one because I study the economy, but I think about that just like in the next 10 years. What is things looking like for millennials? Are we going to be well off, or are we going to be facing some things that we probably don't know we're going to be facing?
I mean, I think that's in general. Like, obviously, did our parents know that the market was going to crash in 2008, 2009? Like, I think we'd be naive to feel like just because millennials have done so well, up until this point, and kind of progressing past our parents in like career and all that kind of stuff like that, I think it would be naive for us to feel like just because of the way that things have shaped up so far, that nothing could happen. We learned that in business.
No, that's a fact. I think that's what it is. It's like the unknown. Like, okay, how is things going to change with the economy?
Yeah.
How are jobs going to be created? Like, what are going to be the jobs created in the next 10 years?
AI is like a takeover massacre right now.
Like, AI is taking jobs and everything else. So it's like, okay, are those jobs going to be readily available, or are they going to be, are you going to have a new skill set?
You talk about skill sets all the time, like, and I don't think it's just always going back to school. I think it's, from a space of licensing. What are you licensed to do? What are the things that you can do? I was just talking to a young lady at the church I sing at yesterday, and she just turned 22. She was one of the students that ended up, missing out on graduation and all that stuff because of COVID. Sorry.
Oh, that's right.
She missed out on because of how 2020 shaped up. Are they still blocking stuff for that word? Because at this point, what happened to it? But anyway, she was talking about, how their graduation, like they just put up a picture of that person and they had to take pictures in their cap and gown. She was like, I had to put on my brother's old cap and gown to take my graduation pictures. I couldn't even do graduation pictures on graduation day. It was just a screen and they just threw our picture up there. And that was our experience. We missed prom. And she was like, I'm contemplating wanting to go to a school still, even though I'm older, because I never got that experience because of how I graduated. So, everything was online, everything, hadn't gotten back to it. So when you look at all those different things, it's like, we started talking about skill sets. So when I first met her, she had decided she didn't want to work anymore and decided she wanted to do lashes.
Revelation at 20.
Yes. We were just talking about this yesterday.
That's crazy.
But, she decided she wanted to go into entrepreneurship, and she was asking me, per the episode that we did talking about Forex, she was like, yeah, I remember that whole era. Is like, do you feel like it's still a good skill set to learn? And so when you talk about things like skill sets, it's thinking about like, if I don't have a job or if I don't have anything that I'm doing physically or going to a place every day, how could I be profitable? How could I make money? How can I support myself? How can I support my family? So I think skill sets, I think we have to be mindful of growing with the economy in regards to the different skill sets that we're learning, because there's a lot of people preaching, oh, tech is the new black. Shout out to the Tech is the New Black podcast, but they're saying that, you know, we as Black people aren't really represented in the tech space. And so the individuals that are, obviously there's a podcast that hosts and highlights these individuals, but the whole premise is talking about getting these different skill sets. So from a tech standpoint, if it's not just surface tech and you can't just be just an engineer, you have to start understanding artificial intelligence. These are going to be jobs that are given. I don't think AI is taking jobs. The people that understand how to operate it, because the thing is, you can't just have AI and not know how to utilize it.
Right.
You can't just have artificial intelligence programs and not know what to do. And so the people that are going to be replacing people with AI are the people that actually understand how to utilize it. So how are you scaling your different skill sets to be not just profitable, marketable, but be valuable in a marketplace where people don't have those same skill sets? The people that are first to the marketplace in those spaces of artificial intelligence for your specific field of work, those are going to be the people that become most valuable in their space, just because not only do you know it, but now you can teach it. Now you can, you know, show people how to do it. That stuff does not, these are not robots.
Yeah, I think we got to learn how to utilize AI to help us accelerate in whatever we're trying to do.
I use it for the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm always searching for new ways to
know.
utilize AI for podcasting. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to reach out to them and ask them if they want a plug on the show before I drop all the names.
No, that's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? But there's different artificial intelligence that'll cut up your videos. There's different artificial intelligence that'll transcribe your episode, where you can literally, there's some of them that you could literally take. You mess up a word and you say due diligence instead of due diligence, and you can literally erase it, and it'll take your voice and how you sound and your normal inflections and all that stuff like that, and put in the right word. It'll take out the ums. Like, you can literally just utilize tools like this. People want to know how to put captions on, you know, their videos and all that stuff like that. There's an app that's literally called Captions.
Yeah.
And it does it for you.
No, that's dope. I told you, you know, I finally found somebody that can actually code my strategy, and I can utilize that in the market. You know, the reason why I'm trying to do that is because it eliminates emotions in the market, and the things I can't see, or I'm not at my computer to take a trade. It'll take the trade for me, so I don't have to. You know what I'm saying? So it eliminates a lot of things for me, but it also will help me, you know, just generate more income faster, I think. And I utilizing that and seeing where, you know, where you can take AI is an opportunity, I feel like, for anybody that is, you know, trying to get ahead in the next 5 to 10 years, because we really don't know where this economy is headed.
No, we don't.
I mean, it is scary right now. I think a lot of people are displaced.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going through displacement. A lot of millennials feel like, you know, I have all this education, and I have nowhere to use it.
That's a fact.
You know, they been in school for years, and, you know, acquire certain skill sets, and probably can't get, you know, jobs in those fields.
That's a real thing. That happened to me.
You know, what happened to you?
Like, I mean, I have a music degree. Not the best degree to have gotten. And that's only just in the sense of like not knowing what you want to do, and it's like you don't even know at that point. You don't know for years. You might find out, you know, your last year of school that I wanted to do something completely different, and the best thing to now have done is to go get a master's degree in something different. You know, but had somebody advise me and ask me, what do you like, or what are some of the things that you're uncomfortable with, everything about what I went to school for was about this. I mean, my comfortability versus long-term processing. And like, I was talking to one of my homegirls, her cousin is about to be a freshman, and like we're having, you know, we had to have round up the troops and like, you know, give her the talk, you know, talks that we didn't get, especially being as a young lady in 2018. What? It's 2023.
Yeah.
She's 18.
That's so crazy.
Jesus Christ. Being a young lady, 2023, you're going out of state for college. Like, what are some of the things that I wish somebody would have told me going out of, you know, state for okay.
That
somebody would have told me, huh?
No.
And somebody would tell me on my way to college. And so, we would talk, and it was like, I remember telling her the other day, I was just like, be mindful of what you feel like you want to do after school. Like, is, I don't think we're having conversations around career path anymore. It's just like, figure something out, pick a major, blah, blah, blah. Or not saying to somebody, like, it's okay if you don't like this when you get there.
Do you think it's too young at 18 to know what you want to do career-wise?
Yes.
Like, how can you pick what you want to do for your life? As
for
a
your
career,
life, I don't think you can know for real.
High school, that's tough. Like, it's rare if you do know, but to put that on somebody to know, and then also be paying hundreds of $1,000s. You know what I'm saying? To know.
But I think that's what the pressure of knowing comes from. Is like, this is not public high school. Like, this is being paid for. So I do need to figure something out.
Right.
But like I said, in my situation, like, I got all the way to my last semester, took a business class, and now I'm like, what the heck have I done for 4 years?
Man, you'd have loved business, huh?
I would have, because it makes sense now because of the things that intrigue me, the things that move me in life as a person. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I pick comfortability over anything else.
That makes sense. And it was all you knew at the time, too.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's my thing with it, is like, okay, if they don't know what they can use their degree for, how do you feel like millennials are now thinking, like, how do I provide a life for myself? Because
for sure
of what, one, inflation.
My God.
Everything costs more.
My God.
Everything costs more. Even housing, I think, is a big thing that I think millennials are right now struggling with. The understanding of, like, this is new. This is a new life. Like, okay, the minimum for 1 bedroom is what? 2
in Atlanta. You're not paying anything under maybe 8, depending on if you live downtown. Probably 18 to 2,200, for a 1 bedroom. I might be wrong, but
it was 800 when we first got here.
Yeah, when we first moved here in Sandy Springs, $899. Gone other days.
Crazy.
My best friend, they lived in a big house, $1,600 a month. It was a 7-bedroom, 3-story house.
I remember that joint.
Oh my God, $1,600 a month. Gone are the days. But yeah, like, you got, at this point, there's so many people moving outside of the city just because the pricing.
Yeah.
But I think we're looking for, obviously we're in our late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s, early 40s as millennials. And so obviously, even if you're in your late 30s, your early 30s, you're definitely looking for a life for yourself.
Yeah. You're looking to start a life. You're looking to build some stability for yourself.
Family. If you already have it. Most of us, you're already in that building phase from college. And so I think this is where, like, some of the partying has phased out, contingent upon your lifestyle. Like, for us, obviously, we used to be out all the time. Once we started having kids, a kid and now kids, it's like, yeah, I'm at the crib with it. What? We got to figure out what this boy gonna eat all day. Like, man. And to have sons at that, like, our son will eat four waffles in the morning, like, at 2, 3 pieces of whole pizza.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Get
so
hungry.
Yeah, no, it's not. And to have 2 of them, a husband, oh my gosh, I am concerned. You know what I'm saying? Obviously we're looking for more money, and, like, I know some of the conversations that I have with my friends all the time is like, I gotta find another job. Like, because either I'm not happy doing it, it's become a stale biscuit, or I want more money to support my lifestyle. To support your lifestyle, yeah. How do you feel about in regards to that?
Well, I think we was talking about this earlier today with a friend. Like, I think it's unfortunate of what equity firms are doing. Like, they're buying up properties, they're buying up everything in real estate, and these are the times where millennials are looking to build some sort of wealth. And what you're seeing is, on every block, there's being communities bought up, and homes being bought up, and they're not being bought to sell to you as an owner. They're there to rent to you, and we're seeing this time and time again. And now, because of inflation, interest rates have gone so high, but it ain't even just the interest rate. I feel like millennials wouldn't even care about interest rates if prices wasn't so high. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the caveat. You got people that probably bought homes or bought some real estate right before COVID or in 2020 and everything,
winning
with great interest rates.
Mm-hmm.
The issue with that is that a lot of them are stuck
because they don't want to. If you leave,
yeah.
I mean, we were even talking to our realtor about it. He was like, Malcolm asked the real questions like, would you sell your house in this economy? And they're like, absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, nigga, why are you trying to get me to do it? But
what I do is answer. He ain't crazy.
But the reason being was exactly what you said. It's like, my interest rate is so good.
Yeah, and the interest rate is so good. And here's like, they have some equity built up for sure. If you bought in 2020, you got, artificial, unrealized gains.
That's hilarious.
But it's unrealized gains, so a lot of them can't touch it, or they don't know how to, or if they do, they take out a equity line of credit, but you still, like I said, that's a loan to you. So you're gonna be paying that back somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them don't want to sell their home, so the inventory is not there. They don't want to sell it because they don't want to now. Shoot, if I got 3% interest rate, why would I sell my house to now get into a 6 and 7 interest rate?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, for a house that's 2 times what I'm probably paying now.
And so that's the thing we were talking about. The NACA program, which is a first time home buyers program or whatever. And, when we were looking into utilizing it, when we were looking to build our first house, what was that, last year?
Yeah.
Last year or the end of 2021, early last year. And the interest rates were so low, like it all made sense. You know what I'm saying? To use a program like that, you in there with a great interest rates. But at this point, like, you're only getting like less, like your interest rate is only down 1% or so.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were looking at it, it's like you can use a mortgage calculator on there and it'll show you based off of how much you could either do like how much you want to pay for a house, like how much you want the house to cost, or how much you want to be paying on a monthly basis. And based off of the number that we want to pay on a monthly basis, the location we want to live in, the price for the home was so low that it's like, or if this is what you want to pay and this is where you want to live and this is what the interest rate is. And if you use $20,000 to, or $50,000, I didn't even tell y'all this, $50,000 would only buy down your rate. So it was like 4.7%.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, well, the whole point of utilizing programs like that is so I don't have to pay a down payment.
So you don't have to pay down.
So it's like it defeats the whole purpose.
Using that program. That's
right.
The whole point.
It defeats the whole purpose if I'm putting that kind of money down anyway,
Yeah.
just to buy my interest rate down. And so, based off of the location, based off of the interest rate and how much we wanted to pay on a monthly basis at a max, it was literally like you can only afford a house that's $375,000.
Mm-hmm.
But the location where we know we want to live at, you can't even find, like the house we used to live at when we rented it, it was going for me. I looked it up today. It was $447,000. It was going for $447,000 for a townhouse, a 3-bedroom townhouse.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because when you say $375,000, somebody be like, man, that's a great house. That can get you a great house. And it's like, yeah,
it depends on where you want to live.
It is relative because here in Atlanta, here's the thing, like you say, Atlanta ain't a real place, but reason why being is because houses aren't decreasing in value, in Atlanta like they are in other parts of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Because so many people are moving here. There's so much demand here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to see the downturn that people are looking for in the time frame that you probably needed. You know what I'm saying? So $375,000, yeah, it sounds good, but it'll get you probably 2 to 3 bedroom townhome.
That's probably 1,800 square feet. And like I said, it's relative to people though. It's relative to your situation, because if you're a newlywed,
and it's all across town.
Yeah, if you're a newlywed though, that might be cool for you to start your family.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
for us, you talking about 2 kids and 2 of us in a townhouse? Not gonna happen.
Here's the thing,
I'm already tired of steps.
We did a townhouse before, so we tried everything we wanted to try to see if we wanted that.
Like, what do you really
would buy that? You know what I'm saying? Rent the thing that you want before you buy it. And
I think that's a great philosophy.
You
Some
know
people don't, but
some people don't. But that's how people. There's been a lot of buyer's remorse because of that. A lot of people, they was told to buy a house, buy a house, buy a house. You bought a house, now your house poor, or maybe you didn't want this. Maybe you got your, you got a lot of expenses now that you didn't know that you would have because you're a homeowner. So it's a lot.
Had we gone through with us buying our house and building that house that we wanted to build, how do you think today we would feel?
We would feel crazy. I think we would feel crazy. I think we'd be scared out of our boots.
Scared of our boots is crazy.
I think we would be happy with the house. I think we wouldn't have been ready for all that it entails, so to speak. More so like all the other costs. And you know, my sister, she bought a house recently, and she was telling me how, you know, she didn't know her mortgage was going up. Her mortgage went up like maybe a couple $300 or something like that. But she didn't know. But she didn't know that property taxes do go up. You know what I'm saying? That if the value of the home goes up, the property taxes go up. So you do pay more per year, which means you pay more per month. So in a sense, that is the part that does go up. Even though they say, you know, you're
fixed rate.
You have a fixed rate.
Yeah.
So it depends on what you have, but property taxes are always going to be there. So she didn't understand that part, and that's an expense that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? And that could be, you don't know what that could do for somebody.
True. We was about to be paying.
Fact. The $300 could be, you know, difference between a bill to keep your lights on, or, you know what I'm saying, or paying your mortgage. You never know. Everybody's situation is different. So it's hard to say. It's really hard to say, but I just think with uncertainty in what the economy is doing, I think we would just be like, yo, what is going on? I don't know.
I 1,000% think we would have been unhappy because we were moving into a location that we don't want to live in.
That's true. That's
like
true.
1,000%.
Yeah.
We've known forever that we never wanted to live on that side of town. It's a great side of town. It's up and coming, all that kind of stuff like that. But we never wanted to live on the south side of Georgia.
Yeah.
But that's where we knew we would get more bang for our buck, regardless. Even if it was a $500,000 house, $600,000 house, $400,000 house, you would get so much for that. Whereas out on this side, you get a townhouse. You know what I'm saying? But out there, you getting a 5-6 bedroom, almost 3,000 plus square feet.
Now they tripping now.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So it's like I feel like you said, we'd be satisfied with the house, but we would have been trying to find a way out of it because we never wanted to live on that side of town.
Yeah.
So I also think the thought process of dating the different types of, or trying out the different types of homes you want. We moved here. We got an apartment. It was like it was a nice apartment, but it was one day I feel like we're going to have to just show them because I don't think it'll do justice to even try to tell you what this looked like. It was one of those apartments where you pull up to the complex and they'd be like, okay, what's about to happen here? Am I going to get robbed? Is this safe? But then we go inside, it's real nice.
Right.
You go inside, it's nice. It was big. It was a 1-bedroom. That was cool. Eventually, we only left that spot because they raised the rent from I think it was like $950 to $1,200. And I'm just like,
with no renovations.
No renovations. We moved into a house, a single family home. It was a 3-bedroom with a basement. Yeah. But it was in an area of town where it was just crazy water bugs at all times.
Everywhere.
And they were never even alive. Annoying. They were just dead. Like, it was gross.
Yeah, like you pick up something. What's this dead water bug?
Literally, just sitting at the front door. Hated it.
Yeah.
So then we left that, went to the high rise because we wanted the city life.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
That was great. But now I'm paying higher price, smaller locate. You know what I'm saying? We went from a 3-bedroom house to a 1-bedroom apartment, but it's on the 19th floor. You got the views, you got the vibes. Like, it was great for what it was. But we moved there, and then the pandemic happens, and nothing that we expected to be able to do to live our life and just be outside and experience. And it used to be jumping over there too, in Buckhead. Facts. And then we get shut down. We enjoyed it for 3 months. We get shut down. We get find out we were having a baby, and now we got to find a bigger space because there's absolutely no way.
Yeah, I think that's when mindset shift is like, okay, we having a child, like we got to find more space, gotta find something that's stable.
And then we get the townhouse, and now the mindset is like, I could never live in a townhouse again because I lived in it for 18 months. We did that. It was a great house, new build, blah, blah, blah. Great property, great location. All of the things about it was great, except for the price. And then eventually the steps, like eventually I just cannot do these steps. And so I said all that to say, like, knowing what you now want. So I can't look at a specific price. And some people, like you said, will say that's a great price for a house. Only where we live at, it's what you're going to get for that dollar amount.
Right. I think having this discussion is because I think this is what millennials are concerned with. They're concerned about
sure.
this. You know what I'm saying? Like, where are they going to be at? What are they going to be able to afford?
And all
in the
wanting to be
years?
homeowners.
Like, a lot of people want to be homeowners and want to build wealth for themselves, and not having it stripped from you institutionally.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And a lot of that is going on, and we got to be more aware. We got to be smart. I think if you can find an investment vehicle that can give you a rate of return better than what even just having a home can have or do for you, then you're still doing well. Like, you know what I'm saying? I would say over 10 years, typically in a real market, typically a house will probably appreciate 20%, 25%, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Or even if it does double, that would have been how much percentage per year? You know what I'm saying? So now you think about, okay, can I find something that gives me a rate of return of at least 10% a year or something like that? Outside of this. So it's all about finding vehicles.
I think that's also culture and generationally being programmed into us, because if you're a first generation homeowner, or like you grew up in a household where your parents were first generation homeowners or second generation homeowners, it's like that's what we know. And so it's like our parents have said plenty of times, y'all need to buy a house.
Yeah.
And my question is always like, why? You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, well, how you build wealth? And then it's like the conversation around wealth in housing. It always makes me question. This is my question when it comes to housing and purchasing homes, right? It's always that our parents and like grandparents that are talking about buying houses also want you to never sell theirs. So when we're talking about building wealth, you know what I'm saying? It, like logically, and I might be slow and I might not be comprehending, or maybe somebody else understands this, but I 1,000% never can comprehend how that makes sense. Yeah. How are we building wealth if nobody's ever going to sell the home to get the money or to do anything that can change our lifestyle? You know what I'm saying? Right. And it never makes sense to me, like, because now we have a house that's been in our family for 30, 40, 60 years, and nobody ever got to be profitable from that. So did we build the wealth? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like my parents' only request in their will is don't sell my house. So now I'm like, well, what do we do all this for? Like, where's the wealth? Like, where does the wealth generate? And hopefully, if you're a realtor listening to this, or the market or the industry, please help me understand. I'm not saying this maliciously. I'm not saying this. I really want to know.
No, that's real.
Like, at what point do we get to be profitable? Like, when do we take profit from those kind of assets?
It's a real thing. I think, we do hold on to it too long and trying to figure out why we don't make the full profit. But that's a real thing.
That's my real question.
Question though, why do you feel like people are waiting to get married a lot longer now and have kids?
I mean, I feel like that's been happening though.
Why?
Like, technically, we're having kids on the older side. Like my parents had me. My mom was done having kids. I guess 2 years after me.
I feel like our generation really like we want like
stability.
We want stability.
Security.
We like, okay, I don't even want them problems right now. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, we're waiting much longer to start families.
I really think it's because of what you said at the beginning of the episode, of like the uncertainty, the unknown. I'm always an advocate for building with people and being able to come together and bring two sets of minds and resources and all that kind of stuff like that together to be able to create something that wouldn't have been able to be created lest we were together. But I can understand why people don't, especially talking to a lot of men in the last year of my life, a lot of single men.
What have they said to you? Because I'm curious.
Well, I say it all the time. I think I said it on another episode where it's like, as women, we're always requesting that a man propose or he get his stuff together because I want to be married. My friends that are single, that are in their 30s, their conversation is the next person I date. I want it to be long term. I want it to lead to marriage. I want like nobody on the women's side is dating just to date. Mm-hmm. They are, because I'm obviously married, but they're dating to marry.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the guys on the same side, it's always the conversation around. We were listening to a podcast yesterday, on the way back from the grocery store, where it's like, you know, for a man, I have to get the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I have to, what do you say? I got to get a ring. I got to do the whole proposal thing. And in social media land, it got to be extravagant for the real. Then you got to prepare for the wedding. Then you got to be the sole provider.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I saw one of my young boys, one of my homies put up a video. He's like 21, 22. It was like, if you 50-50 with your woman, it's no wonder she looking down on you or whatever. Like,
Jesus.
you should be, so like, we supposed to provide and protect. And I'm like, the naivety of you, young sir.
Yeah, keep
like,
on living.
Keep on living a little longer. But I said that to say, like, the guys are like, you know, these are the things that they expect from me. And so because these are the expectations, then how could I say I could do it today if I don't feel like I am securely in that place to do this right now?
Yeah.
And as women, we look at that as like, oh no, it's like we say, I'll build with you, or we can do this. But it's like, in reality, I want to be a passenger princess. I don't want to work. I want to sit at home and I want to be a homemaker. Say that until you have some kids. Promise you. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, that's my expectation, is I really want you to provide for me. And so it's like the oxymoron of, I want you to provide for me, but I also don't want you to wait to propose to me. I don't want to wait for the wedding. I don't want to do it small either. Right. I want it to be, you know, extravagant. I want it to be elegant. I want it to be all the things, but I also don't want to wait for you to figure it out financially or get yourself to where you feel securely to be able to do those things.
Do you feel like men are confused?
I don't think men are confused. I think they know that, and that's why they always say what they're saying.
Oh, like, I'm gonna get my finances together.
I've heard it I've heard it from my friends that are married. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, how long it took. I want to marry her, but
it might take him years to even, you know, get the money to be able
because
to
of
propose.
what you think the expectation is.
No, that's real.
And that's what we're voicing as well, you know. I can't wait till we have like some kind of event or whatever, so that we can pod with our hot topic group. We have a group chat where we just literally
many different views in that
many views in that jump, and it would be a crazy show. But yeah, I think guys know that, in a lot of the conversations that I hear from my guys that are single, is like, if that's what you want, well, logically, this is the time frame that it really takes. If I'm just meeting you, it's going to take us about 2 years to even get to marriage.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, that's what they're thinking. It's like, financially, what does that look like? You want me to take you out? You want me to fly to your city? You want me to do all these different things? And now
the men are like, preach.
Because I feel like I've always been like the bro sis, like, where
I'm crying.
Guys are always willing to talk to me because I feel like they feel like I understand them, or like I'm at least listening to understand.
That's because I give you the game.
Yeah, my husband and his friends have always put me on games since we were in college.
I give you all the game, like how we really thinking, what we really thinking, because it's hard for us to give language to a lot of things that's in our head. But you know, as far as the marriage thing, like, there is a lot of things to consider on the man's side, and a lot of them do feel like there's like not much of a benefit to them, which I would disagree. I disagree that
since you disagree, can you please elaborate on what are some of the benefits of being a married man?
I think having somebody that, you know, that you're with, that cares for you wholeheartedly, that you vow to, your life is going to be that much better. I think if you have a goal in mind, if you have something that you want to accomplish in life, having someone stable in your life is going to accelerate it. I think having a sound mind, a peaceful home, and things like that, like all those things that woman provides that a man needs on his journey, I think he'll capture that goal a lot faster if he did it with one person than trying to be out here, chasing tail. It's too hectic out here. You know what I'm saying? It's too much. It's way too much. And if you go oriented and you try to hit your goals, like, you ain't got time to be chasing tail all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
chasing tail is hilarious.
I'm trying to be, politically correct out here, because you sound right. But no, but seriously, like, I just think, like, I would disagree with any dude that says, like, there's no benefit to them marriage wise. And what they're typically thinking about and what they're saying is monetarily, they feel like there's no benefit because they're already thinking of the end. You know what I'm saying? They're thinking, like, if we don't make it. And if you're going off the numbers, yeah, it's 50-50 chance you will or will not. But if you're choosing the right person, that shouldn't be the case. You know what I'm saying?
I think there isn't enough conversation, I guess. Well, now there is, thanks to podcasts. But there's a lot of conversation that expresses the details of the work that marriage actually takes, because it's not always easy.
And that too, people shy away from that.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's a lot of conversing and a lot of adjusting and a lot of shifting and changing, because you change as a person too. You know, you have different. We have different goals than we had when we first decided to move to Atlanta.
Yo, that's real.
We have different goals than when we first got together.
Man, how about you?
You know, we have different goals than we had last year before we had kids.
Yo, facts.
Literally last year.
They're forever changing.
They're forever changing, and so it's adaptability and your willingness to do that. And I think those are the parts that make marriage seem like it could be. I don't really want to embark on those things. It's like, no, it's just actually a lot of work. It's actually the most work you'll ever do, because it's not just what you're doing in the relationship that is beneficial to the other person. It's also the work that you have to do within yourself.
Literally.
That now I have to change me. Or like if you're, you know, like for me, if you're talking about sex, and like a lot of men, it's like, you know, the whole man conversation is always, well, y'all don't even understand. We want it so much, and you couldn't even fathom how much I think about sex. And it's like, all right, cool. If I know this now, if I'm aware of this, do I? I'm gonna have to eat these words tonight after the show is over. Before I even say this, I already know. You know what I'm saying? But when you think of, obviously while I'm pregnant, like a mug. But no, I'm saying like when you think about that.
We gotta talk about that. That's gonna be a whole pod one day.
What? The baby?
Sex while pregnant. It's a whole thing.
Sex while pregnant is crazy for an episode. Anyway. Because inquiry lines really do want to know.
They do want to know. Right?
Our friend just asked us that. You're going to have to put me on game, bro. Like,
well, finish what you was going to say.
I bet you want me to. Anyway, I'm saying, like, if I know that my husband is now saying this and he's making this request and he's saying, like, you know, I want to feel like you want me to. I don't want to feel like I have to pursue you every time I want sex, because I know I want sex that much. And I know physically, even now, while me being pregnant, like that's just something that you can't do. You're not always going to be up to it or feel like it, or we're about to embark on a 6-week or could be more hiatus due to whatever. And it's like me now reprogramming myself. We're about to be married for 5 years, been together for 10 years. And instead of just saying, well, I'm pregnant, or I'm tired, or I'm this, it's like, can I make the effort to let him know that he's wanted to? Like, I think I'm more intentionally thinking about it. You know, I kind of, at this point, I feel like I got a clock in my head where I'll be like, all right, it's been 3 days.
You have a clock? That is so funny.
It's been 3 days.
It's the intentionality of knowing the clock.
You want to pull up on me? And it might sound like it's tedious or like it don't take all that. And it's like, it probably doesn't. But can I be, if I know that's what you're asking for or have asked for before or have made comments about, how intentional can I be to not only make you feel like you're the one reaching out for the same thing that you're saying is a need for you?
So you think, because men and women are shying away from marriage, so to speak, in our generation. Like, they're like, I don't know if they're taking it as seriously or they're even looking to do that.
I don't agree.
Yeah. All right. So explain.
I don't agree. I think there's actually our millennial marriage percentage is actually higher than any other generation has been.
Really?
Yes.
And I wonder. All right. So
I think it's taking longer because of the who's, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have the guys that are making a lot of money, or you have the women that are making a lot of money, where it's like, now I'm more concerned about what you want me for. And so my vetting process might be a little bit longer, or like, you know, I might be weeding people out way faster because of why you're here, or, you know, stuff like that. And even if it's not just a financial gain, it's just kind of like, why are you here? What do you want from me? Or what do you bring to the table? I think the question is phrased wrong, depending on the tonality of it, but also like the context that you're bringing it up. But what really do you bring to the table? How can we be partners? And I don't think that is the conversation that's being had. I don't think people have the proper verbiage. I don't think you know, people are having the right conversations, and where we might call it settling after I've been in a relationship for 2, 3, 4 years. Now the next person, I'm not about to give you that much time. So it's like a domino effect of trauma, of I'm about to say postpartum of PTSD at this point, where it's like, I did this already. Because even before I met you, I had already planned on not being in another relationship till I was 26.
Yeah.
I met you 3 months later, but in my mind, my goal, I'm not doing this no more. That was my longest relationship. It was 1 year.
That's crazy.
And I was
1
done.
year,
1 year. And I was like,
that
yo.
definitely wasn't my longest.
Jesus Christ. Who was
a
you
year?
with?
What?
Who was you with for longer than a year?
I was with like 2 years.
2 years and you met me at 20 is crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's crazy.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like, but I had that. Obviously, I was young or whatever, but I'm like, I'm good on this. Like, I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to be in no situation that I don't want to be in, and I'm in it long as jacks just because I don't want to get out of it.
Right.
Because I'm not a quitter. What?
That's wild.
So I think that's what it is. I just think, when you reevaluate after the things that have happened, that's like I said, why would women say, I want my next relationship to be my husband? That means it's like, it just can't be anybody. I'm not just out here being all willing. Like, I want it to be specifically that. So I'm going to take my time to find the right person, or, I'm not just about to do just anything or talk to anybody or whatever, just because this is my expectation, this is my desire.
Statistically, they're waiting longer in age, but the desire is not.
I don't think the desire has diminished. That was what you said. I don't think the desire has diminished.
I really think it has, but
I mean, that's okay.
Could be wrong.
We can agree to this. If you're listening to this episode, I would love for you to comment here right now and let me know what you think. We got to get y'all to we just want a little bit more engagement. If you're actually listening, you made it this far, make sure if you're watching on YouTube that you go ahead and like right there, because the like lets YouTube know that you really love us. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast, go ahead and subscribe to this thing.
That was the ad.
Yeah, Lord. Yeah.
That was the...
But I wanted to ask you, we were having this conversation recently as well. When it comes to yesterday, you asked me, why wouldn't I get a job when we moved out here?
Yeah, please talk. All right. So what's your question though?
So what do you think is the dilemma around, and this is not just a millennial thing, but also Gen Z.
It's definitely Gen Z.
Whereas we don't want to work. We don't want
work for
to
nobody.
Work. We don't want to work. We want to all be business owners and entrepreneurs and CEOs and just living life on the edge. Because that's what it is. Obviously you can be very profitable in entrepreneurship. We have been,
of course, sure.
But it is. You asked me yesterday, why would I do that?
Yeah, I'm just thinking what the hell is the thought process of I'm leaving this government job and I'm going to Atlanta to pursue, I guess, music. I don't really know what
whatever.
It was.
I don't know.
It was just to pursue.
No idea. Just pursue life.
Here's the thing: she had the opportunity to transfer her job that she was doing with the government in Atlanta. So normally people don't have that option. Normally, if they're moving, either on faith or into somebody else's home, and they're gonna find stability along the way.
Yes,
you had the stable income, the stable job, and the ability to transfer that to Atlanta. But you took the leap of faith, which,
yes,
of course it was faith. It was a faith move
for sure.
To come here with no income, and I think a lot of first of all, a lot of generational Z's love having the faith to do this. I'm telling you, they are fearless. They're fearless.
Yeah,
they are fearless, and I think it's dope. But I think a lot of it, some of them could be a little dangerous and misguided too.
I think they learned from us though. I think we were one of the first to really pursue, and unapologetically, just it is what it is. I don't have to go to college to make it, or I don't have to have this Fortune 500 corporate job. I don't have to look like all the movies. I think that's what we thought, and that ain't real either.
Man,
what? Do you know how long you gotta climb the food chain to even you know what I'm saying, do stuff like that? I don't even think we realize watching movies like that where you see somebody who has the nice corner office that has all the windows in New York City or LA or whatever, that they're 40. And we're thinking of this at 22.
Yeah.
But the whole thing of me leaving my job was I moved to Atlanta. I just think I I didn't have my freedom early enough. And what I mean by that is like my first year out of college, my freshman year of college, when I got home, my dad had a job laying on the table waiting on me.
Right.
And so it's like I have been working a real 40-year-old person job from the time I was 18. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm like, bruh, I have done enough. I want a chance to just live my life and pursue whatever makes me happy and be a flower and, you know, just whatever. And so I get
so
like,
young
but at 30,
dumb.
almost 31 years old, I'm like, dang, I turned 31. That's crazy. Wow, y'all have been with us for a really long time. Since we were 29.
Sheesh.
That's crazy. But, you know, now about to turn 31, I'm like, what would have been different if I would have transferred the job, you know, and had the stability and the security, or where would things be today, or stuff like that, or like what would I, but I also wonder, like, if I didn't, would we have been in business and done what we did in entrepreneurship if that was the kind of job I was working? Because I think sometimes with entrepreneurship, when you are really trying to build something significantly, excuse me, wow, significantly, that sometimes when you have that level of security, it'd be like, I mean, it's cool if I do it or if I don't.
Yeah.
Because I'm still cool regardless.
Yeah, I think it's tough. I mean, we was having that conversation because I'm like, yo, I don't know. I don't know, me being me, I don't know if I could have made that decision. You know what I'm saying? But that's why we work, because you had that leap of faith. And, you know, I definitely went out there and got a job because I've been playing that. Definitely wanted to be stable, and I get that. I think millennials, we're in the in between space of, a lot of us do understand, like, yo, we can't do it the same way our parents did it. The world is changing, the economy is changing, obviously. We don't know how we're gonna be able to retire. Like, what can we rely on in the future? All these things are up in the air, especially what's being fed to us every day, all day. Like they saying every day, like, yeah, millennials ain't getting, 401ks, whatever that stuff is. They're not getting it. Pensions already did, of course. You know what I'm saying? So what do we have to fall back on? I think it's only us getting better at things and learning how to make money. Making money online has been a big thing.
Huge.
And it's accelerated, you know, our results a lot faster than the past generation, which is good too. But it is something that we think about. I think that, and if you're doing that, you gotta be looking, how can I scale? How can I scale this in the next 10 years? Not thinking in the next 2, but in the next 10, how can I scale to a space?
I think that's our biggest downfall is because of the last 3 to 4 years. Like, I think because of that, like, we have lost our sense of time. And within losing our sense of time, it's like we want everything accelerated, and it's like, I could do this in 30 days, 90 days, or, you know, if I do make $1 million in a year, then I'm good. It's like we want the popcorn, and it's like, obviously we talked about this before, like, if it's not that fast, then it feels like I'm a failure, where it's like, yo, I have adopted that mentality. We've been talking about that recently, of like, you know, my goals are now set for 2.5, 5 years. Like, that's what I'm looking at to get to the places that I want to be at, versus where it used to be quick. I've done the quick. I've lost it quick. And I'm cool with the not a slow drip. Like, obviously I still work, like, that's what
progression.
You know, I work with aggression. I work that way in order for things to happen for me fast, but I don't expect it fast, and that's not what I'm looking for. And I think if you have that that balance of, I want it fast, so I'm moving like I know that can happen for me, because it can, but I'm not moving where it's like, if that's not what happens, then I quit, or I give up, or it's not that good, or blah blah blah. That I'm willing to put in the work and the sweat equity for years to come to get to where it is that I want to be at. And I think when we get back into the sense of reality of time,
playing the long game,
that we will start to create so much more than what we've already done. And accountability, because I told you recently, like, as an entrepreneur, like, being an entrepreneur now for almost 8 years, I've always looked at, how can I create something myself? But over the last 18 months, 2 years, when I've been in my focus of like creating something myself, it stresses me out so much. And I realize it's because I am actually a better contributor to somebody's product than I am to creating my own. And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it, yeah.
Right? It's understanding your strong points and understanding where you would thrive the best. And ever since I've had that
Realization.
Thank you. Ever since I've realized that, like, I have had so much peace. I have been able to work effectively, efficiently. I have been working progressively, and everything is moving according to all of the plans that I've set out, just because I relieved the stress of something that wasn't actually in my nature to do.
Yeah.
Because that's how I made my first $1 million. You know what I mean? Like, and so I think
self-awareness.
Yeah, self-awareness and just getting back into the reality of time. I think that's going to change the game for a lot of us.
I think you just had your life lesson.
That was my life lesson for sure.
Dang, now I gotta have a life lesson.
Sorry, gotta be quicker than that.
Nah, because I had one. I feel like I had one earlier with this episode. I think giving ourselves the time, giving ourselves time to be where we want to be is one of my life lessons, especially as millennials. But one, being parents, it's definitely teaching me patience. But I think, being able to become more skilled is going to be the biggest separator for us in the future. If you can find your way to be more skilled, your future is that much more bright. And as long as you're playing the long game, you're going to win. So this has been another one.
It has been. Hey, listen, I'm your co-host, Brittany.
And I'm Malcolm.
And you can follow me at Brittany Donnell.
And you can follow me at Malcolm_2_Garris.
And don't forget to follow the show at So Let's Talk About It Pod on all platforms. I already dropped this, but make sure if you're on YouTube right now that you subscribe, like, share. Like, it definitely tells the algo that y'all love us. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, make sure that you subscribe to the show, but also make sure you're rating and reviewing. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you love about the show and how we've been able to impact you so far. We almost 4 seasons in, y'all, almost over a year.
Crazy.
And that's crazy, but we're so excited to share more. Our life is changing. We're in the process of getting ready to get a whole new location, so get ready for the new studio vibes, all that kind of stuff like that. But we're ready to bring you guys some more content, so we'll see you guys, and we hope you guys love this episode, and we'll see y'all on the next one.
Peace.